All right, listen up. We have some major breaking news for anyone who is an entrepreneur in Japan or is even thinking about it. The Japanese government has just dropped a bombshell announcement that completely rewrites the rules for the business manager visa. If you're planning a startup or you're already running your company here, you absolutely have to hear this. Okay, let's get right into it. So here's what happened. On October 10th, 2025, the government officially published huge revisions to the business manager visa. And the kicker? They go into effect on October 16th. That's practically immediate. We're not talking about minor adjustments here. This is a top-to-bottom overhaul of the entire system.
So, the big question, is it about to get harder to start a business in Japan? The short answer? Oh yeah, a lot harder. These aren't some far-off changes. They kick in on October 16th. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what's new, who this impacts, and what you need to be thinking about right now.
So what exactly are these new rules? Well, the government has basically set up 5 brand new hurdles that every single applicant is gonna have to clear. Before, there's a bit more flexibility. Now, nope. You have to meet all 5 of these new requirements. No exceptions.
Let's start with the single biggest showstopper, the one that's gonna catch everyone's attention. The minimum capital you need to start your business has been increased 6 times over. It used to be 5 million yen. Now, it's this, 30 million yen. That is a massive jump that completely changes the financial reality for most founders.
And as you can see from this chart, it is definitely not just about the money. Not by a long shot. Look at this. You now need either 3 years of management experience or a master's degree. You have to hire at least 1 full-time employee. You or that employee has to be proficient in Japanese. And your business plan? You can't just write it yourself anymore. It has to be checked and verified by a professional. Every single one of these is brand new and mandatory.
And when the government says full-time employee, they are super specific about what that means. It can't just be another foreigner on a work visa like yourself. It has to be a Japanese national, a special permanent resident, or a foreigner with a specific long-term status, like a permanent resident or a spouse of a Japanese national. That's a really important detail because it seriously narrows down who you can hire to meet this rule.
This new language rule is also really specific. They're asking for what's called a B2 level, which is basically upper intermediate or business level fluency. And here are the ways you can prove it, like passing the JLPT N2 test or getting a good score on the Business Japanese test. The main point is, having a provable high level of Japanese skill in your company's core team is now a must-have.
And yeah, say goodbye to the days of just writing up your own business plan and hoping for the best. The process is totally different now. First, you still create your plan, but then, and this is the game-changing part, you have to take it to a recognized Japanese expert, someone like a licensed SME consultant or a CPA. They have to review it and officially verify that it's feasible before you can even think about submitting your application.
So, you have to be asking, why? Why this sudden, really dramatic tightening of the rules? Well, the government has been pretty direct about their reasoning, and it all comes down to one core idea.
According to the official announcements, the whole point of these changes is to crack down on people misusing the visa system. The government's perspective is that by raising the bar financially, professionally, and linguistically, they can make sure that only truly serious and viable businesses get the green light.
All right, now for the question I'm sure is on everybody's mind. How does this actually affect you? Well, the answer completely depends on one thing. Are you a new applicant, or do you already have a business manager visa? Because the rules are very, very different for each group.
This is so important. For anyone applying for the first time on or after October 16th, 2025, well, these new tough rules apply to you immediately, in full, no wiggle room. But, and this is a huge but, if you're a current visa holder, the government is giving you a 3-year grace period. For now, your visa renewals will be judged on your business's current performance and how you're progressing towards meeting the new rules.
So for all you current visa holders, this timeline is your new reality. The grace period starts right now. You've got the next 3 years, until October 16th, 2028, to get your house in order and meet all these new requirements. Because on that date, the grace period is over and these new rules become mandatory for everyone's renewal. The clock is officially ticking.
And if you can believe it, there's more. Beyond those 5 huge changes, there are a few other new rules hiding in the fine print that you really need to know about. They impact how you run your business day to day and what your future in Japan might look like.
Let's quickly run through these. For one, business models that rely too much on outsourcing might get rejected now. The government wants to see real operations inside Japan. Two, using your home as your office is pretty much a no-go now. You'll need a proper commercial space. You'll also have to prove you're paying taxes and social insurance when you renew. And finally, meeting these new visa rules is going to be a factor if you ever apply for permanent residence. They're tightening up compliance all around.
So, if we had to boil all of this down to one single sentence, what would it be? It's this. The barrier to entry for foreign entrepreneurs in Japan just got raised. A lot. The era of the 5 million yen startup is pretty much over, and it's being replaced by a new system that demands way more capital, more experience, and a much deeper connection to the Japanese business world.
And all of this leaves us with one final, really big question. For years, we've heard that Japan wants to attract global talent and become a major hub for startups. So how does a policy shift that makes it so much harder and more expensive to start a business here fit into that goal? You know, that's the multi-million-dollar question, and I guess only time will tell.